Hey everyone, this is FaZe and welcome to my channel where we talk about all things Teslas and EVs. Today I'm really excited because I'm with ASM Performance and with me is Sahil and we're going to do some amazing stuff to my new Tesla Model Y. So do you want to talk about what we're going to do?
We specialize in automotive vehicle wraps and we also do window tinting. We also do things like this right here, which is an ambient lighting kit. We do it on every car. You can bring us any make or model. We just recently finished up a Range Rover Sport, which turned out amazing. Literally looks OEM. So FaZe, if you want to take it back.
Yeah, absolutely. So I did a collab with Hansshow. They just came out with this new product called laser engraved ambient lights. So obviously these are not something that I can install. That's why I wanted to go with the professionals who can do the installation for me, and ASM Performance do it like no one else. So without any further ado, let's begin the installation process for these new lights.
So first step of this whole process is you have to take the whole center console apart. You just reach and then you wiggle a little bit and then you just pull outwards. Start from the end, work your way to the center. So once you have all of these side panels popped off, I would recommend you to grab a friend, go in the driver's seat, pull these sections out just a little bit and straight upwards. And then if you do that, this whole thing will pop off. It's just two clips that are holding it. And then after you get it there, you're going to kind of pull it back towards yourself, this way towards the car. And now there will be one connector at the bottom right there that you have to unplug. There we go. Cool. And now we can move that entire thing out the way. And for the next step, you're going to take all those bolts off to remove this whole center portion. So for starters, they send you all 4-door lights, which replace the OEM panel lights. We'll take it out of the packaging for this one. This whole thing actually replaces the stock section right here on the door. This stock section right here. It replaces that and it makes it look factory. If you can zoom in on that right there, FaZe, you see that very small section. That's actually the LED inside of it. So it's built into the OEM hardware, which is super sick. Again, they included lights for every place. They included it for the center, the side right here, the speakers, floor lights, everywhere. It's behind the seats. This kit is literally hands down the best kit on the market. So once you have your center console all removed, you have to take this trim piece off, which is actually getting replaced by the Hansshow light. The next step of it is you have to take off your cup holder area. There we go. There we go. And then once you do have it popped off, this clip right here that you see right here, if you push it in towards the wire, you push it in and then you pull it right out. And that piece is out. And from here, you're not done. From here, what you're going to do is you're going to go back, take all of these metal clips out, all of these, and you're going to transfer them over onto this. And you're also going to take this main connector, take these factory screws, and put it right here. So we're about to go over to the desk, swap this out, and then go on with the next step. This piece right here, it's just like a little fabric. It just prevents it from scratching it up. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna peel it right off. We're gonna go over here and then literally put it right where it used to be. And then that will go on. There we go. Just a little bit more and boom. You know you're all the way in when it snaps in. And then you go in with your two T20s and you screw it right up. Once you do that, that whole module is perfectly in. And now, final step for this is to transfer over these old clips onto here. Now, the next step of the process is to remove the whole cup holder assembly. Now that you have that, stick it under it right here, hold it up, go up on the front. There you go. All you have to do is unplug the cigarette wire and the LED lighting. You have the cup holder out. We can move on with the next step, which is bringing the wire harness in and plugging it all up. Every wire is labeled. They're numbered. You're going to need this wiring harness, this yellow one, and then also there's a bag full of wires. If you take them out, you'll find one of them, they're very low numbered. You have that, you have the wire for the next step. And then once you have these 3 wires, you can head on over to the car because we're about to start plugging things up. So we're gonna come back into the car, and you're gonna do this on the passenger side, not the driver's side. You're gonna go ahead and remove your floor mats, what we did over here. After you remove your floor mats, you're gonna get down here, and then what we found is that you can use a trim tool. If you shove it in right there, you should be able to just wiggle and pop. And once you have this pop, it's a series of clips that run along there. You just go, take your finger, and then just slowly go in and pop it all off. There you go. And now that you have the side panel off, we're going to still come back. We'll take this and we're going to remove this triangle and then this piece right here. For this one, you have to take the weather liner off. So to do that, you just literally grab and pull towards you. You can go ahead and take a little bit more off because we are going to go ahead and remove this portion too later on, but we can do that. Be very careful. Take it off. Make sure you do not go from the bottom, because if you go from the bottom, you will break this clip.
All right, so for this next step, you guys are going to take off the door panel. You're going to stick it into the gap right there. You're going to push it kind of towards inwards. So what you're going to do is snap it, pull straight up, and then out. It's just one plug right there. You can unplug it, just pull it, and then it comes right off. So now to take off the door panel, you're going to grab your T30, and there's 3 bolts. One there, one bit right there under here. There's going to be a spot right there. And then the last one, you're going to need to take a pick tool, and you just take this entire light off and then one back there. Follow me, go ahead and take that off. Now for the next step, you're going to take a trim tool, come down here after you have all your screws out. I could just get my fingers back here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull outwards towards me. So it's like that one side of motion, and then same thing over here. And then you're going to pop all the clips from the bottom, all the clips right around here, around the edge. And once you do that, the door panel is just hanging off of this top strip. And to get that off is you're going to grab right here on the handle while pulling out, and then just lift upwards. And the whole door panel will come off. And you just have to do a couple of connections to make this easier. First, start off by doing this. It's out, and first put that out, and then bring it down and out. That's how you take this one out. For the rest, I would lift this up, and you have to connect this one, this blue one. This one can just be pulled out. And then don't forget the very last one down here, which is for the light. And then once you have all of them out, the whole wiring harness will be separate from the door, and you can move the door to the side and leave this all on the door. So for the back doors, instead of 3 screws, there's going to be 2 screws, one here and one here. Once you remove those 2, you just pop it off, pick it up, and then remove the wires. Same thing for the other side, and then same thing for the front door. You guys can just come back to that.
Now for the next step of the process, you're going to take this wiring harness. It's the one that has all these red connections and this connector right here, and then it's going to have a black and white connector. The black one is going to be labeled number 3, and then the white one is going to be labeled number 4. And what you're going to do with this connector is we're going to route it from the footwell, the passenger side footwell, all the way up to the cup holder area. So now that we have these 2 wires ran through up here, you're going to come back and grab your cup holder, and you're going to grab your new LED control panel unit. And then on the control panel unit, you'll have a couple of wires. And what you're going to do is take all the wire connectors and one by one feed them through that. And you should be able to get all of them in here, and then you're just going to feed it through like that. And then from there, we'll be on with our next step. So now for our next step, you're going to take your main power wire, right? And then you're going to take the end where you can plug it in, and you're going to take your OEM blue wire, the gray and blue one that went into the cigarette port before, and you're going to plug these 2 in together. It'll snap in just like that. And then once you have that, you are going to route this end and these 2 OEM ends back up through this hole and here. But before we even do that, we're gonna go ahead and plug in our 3 and 4. So the main display right here. So we can connect this to this one. Plug it in. Now that we have those two plugged in, number 1 right here, number 1 on our main module, and then from there we have still left over our yellow wire, which we're about to explain in the next step, our 2 factory wires, and then this cable that is going to go into our cigarette port.
Now for the next step, you're going to take your yellow wire. It's going to be the one with these 2 ends, and all the way at the other end is going to have number 2. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your number 2, toss it right here in the passenger seat. You don't need that for now. You're going to need this end. You're going to come back here by your air vent, and all you have to do is put 2 hands there and then pull straight towards you. It pops right out. And then once you do that, you're going to have one connector right here. All you have to do is lift up on this pin again and then pull straight out. And then this vat will come out. You can move it out of the way. Don't need it. And now if you look right here in this vent, there's going to be a wire, a yellow wire. You just got to like fish it out a little bit. Once you fish it out, it's not attached to anything. You're going to take the plug and you're going to undo the plug. It's just a pull. And then once you undo the plug, you're going to come and take your wire that you put over here, and you're going to put the male end into the female end, snap it in place, and then place where you unplugged it, come in and plug that in place, and it'll click. There you go. And then once you have all of that, you can put all of this back into place. So now that we have our wires plugged up back here, the way you run it is that you're going to put it under this metal bracket right here, and then you're going to feed it through this hole right here, and then you're going to pull it through, and then you're just going to tuck it. We're going to take a number 2 end, and then right here from our display, we should have a plug for the number 2, and then just plug it in. So now for your next step, you're going to take your cup holder, and you're going to grab the main power wire that goes into the cigarette port, this extra wire, black and red cable, and then the 2 OEM wires, and you're going to bring them here. And then first you're going to plug in your cigarette wire, and once you plug that in, the main display should have power. We're going to have to feed all of the wires under it, make sure it's all good. And then we don't have to lock it into place yet, but enough slack for us to be able to plug this wire in right here. That's for the wire, or that's for the light down there. And then this wire, which is going to get connected to this right here. But we're not ready for that yet. We're going to put this off to the side just like this and come back to this. Now that we're on this step and we have all of this routed under there, we're just going to come back here. The wire that's not numbered, we're just going to put it off to the side. And all the other wires, we decided to pull it through because it makes life way easier when putting this on. We're going to put everything to the side, make sure nothing's in the way, and then we're going to go ahead and snap it in place. And now that we have that, we're going to go and tighten these 2 screws and then 2 more on the back. And after you do that, you're good with this. You can just take this and snap it right over it. But we're going to put these screws on and then pop this back on, and then we'll get to the next step. Now for the next step, you're going to get this wire. It's the wire that's labeled number 5 and number 10. Grab your replacement trim piece with the new LED, and then off to the right side is where the connection will be. You can go ahead and connect white to white, and then this will get routed along the side again, same where we put the yellow wire. It'll get along this, and then it will come out from the side because this whole piece doesn't come off and you don't have anywhere to like push it through. So you're gonna have to route it through the side here, and then you'll be able to plug it up to the side connector that you have over here for the number 5. So we'll go ahead and do that now to test the light to make sure it works. So after you have your center console little LED portion on, you're gonna come in and we're gonna remove the dash. Put your hand there. After you pop both sides, you're gonna grab a hand from your
friend or someone, and then they're gonna pick it up from there. You both are gonna pick it up, turn it this way, like that, and pull it out. Alright, so for the next one, you're gonna grab 2 different wires. You're gonna grab this one that's gonna be labeled 29, 28, 27, and then 23, which is a black one. You're gonna leave this one up on the dash, don't need it for now. And then you're gonna grab this wire loom, which has 36, 22, 23, and then an 8 power cord. And then what you're gonna do with this is that you're gonna take your wire loom again. You're gonna go from the back of the screen right here. There's gonna be a gap right here. You wanna fish it through. One thing we found easy is popping this cover off. It's just a tab right here. You put a big tool in and pop it straight off. You'll have access here so you can guide this loom through with your hand. And then once you get it there, you wanna bring it through the back of here, kind of out this way. And then once you have this here, you're gonna come back on this side and you are going to match up wire number 23 and wire number 23, which is right here. You're gonna connect that to the wire loom and send that to the top. Now you're gonna have to break off these tabs basically. You're gonna have to take a screwdriver, put it here, and then break it off, and then it's gonna leave behind a little notch, kind of sort of. And then when you put this over, the plastic weld is gonna bead over that, and then it's gonna make everything bond together. But the way you do this, I've already started on it. You're gonna start off on this end, put the screwdriver in, and then just turn it, and then it should pop up open. And then you're gonna put your finger there to give yourself some leverage, and then you're gonna go on to the other side, and then just back and forth. Don't need too much strength because you don't want to break it. And then it should pop. Now that you have the old pieces off, you're going to go ahead and grab your LED pieces and you're going to mount it onto the original spot. What we did was we took tape and we taped it around all the way around too, just so that we can have the LED hold perfectly in place. And then you're going to take JB plastic bonder. I used a cardboard box. I laid it out, mixed it all together, and then the spots that we broke off, you're gonna go ahead and lay JB weld on every single one of those. You're gonna do that for both sides. Make sure everything's dry to the touch. When you touch it, it should be hard, and then once it's hard, you can put it back on the car. After you get all the lights for the main dashboard in, we're not gonna put that in yet because we're still letting ours dry, so we're gonna go ahead and move on with the door. So now that you have the speaker off, you have access in here. You can use your hand to push this in, but what I found is if you grab this little thing and pull it outwards, you should be able, with enough force, to grab it off. And with the top side, pull that off. After you have this off, you want to take this whole section off. So to take all of this off, there is one clip right there, and I'm just going to use a big tool. This is the clip. You got to pull it out and then out. Once that is out, you're going to just pull it straight off, literally. And then same with the bottom, straight up. So now we have our wire ran. It's ran through here, and then we ran it through the grommet. Go ahead and put the speaker back on. After we do that, I went ahead and did this. You're going to go and grab your old speaker, and you're just going to pry off the speaker. Once you have that, you're going to grab wire number 26 and the fiber optic cable that's attached to the speaker, and you're just going to click it in. We're going to go ahead and put the speaker back on, have everything connected, and then we'll show you guys the next step on the door. We can move on with this under panel. We went ahead and replaced it with the replacement one. Just pops right in. Once you do have this done, you do have another step on the door. I'll show you that on over here. We already went ahead and started on this. So on the door card, once you're on here, you just take a trim tool, literally just go in and pry it, and it pops right off. Just clips right up throughout here, just like that. So we're gonna go ahead and put the center console on now, and then we'll get back with you guys on the next step. Now coming to the back of the car, you can go ahead and pop this connector back in, this AC vent, line it up, and then it should click into place, and you're good to go right here. And then now for the seat, it's very simple. the way you do this is you're gonna come here and you're gonna push down on the seat, and when you push down, you'll actually see a tab or spring right here. You push it outwards, and when you do that, you can come and do that on the second side. And after you do that on the second side, the whole headrest should just pop up. And after you take the headrest completely out, literally the whole backing just pops right off. And we're gonna go ahead and put the lights on this now, and then we're gonna come back, show you guys the next step. So we're just now about wrapping up our install. So we have our passenger door here pretty much all ready. Just needs to be mounted now. We already went ahead and started on the other side of the rear. So the way we did that is we routed the wires from the inside from here, and we routed it through the tunnelway we have right there under the seats and into the bottom from there, and then from the bottom we managed to get it through the firewall. Some Teslas are different. Either you're gonna have a connector there, or you might not. If you get lucky, we did have a connector, so we had to find a way. We had to cut around the bottom grommet to make the wire fit, so it still looks OEM. From here you can't tell at all, and it has to be in a way to where water won't get in there, so that nothing will get ruined. We got the wire in perfectly through here, got it out the door. Now we're just gonna do the same for the other side. After that, pretty much putting everything back together. The rear doors are pretty simple, however. We don't have to do any plastic welding for the rear. All we have to do is take this strip. It's super simple. You can just go in from the back. There should be an opening. You can stick the actual light through, and then you can just have it in there while the back is just hanging out like that. And then once you have that in place, all you have to do for the rear is replace the bottom. You don't have any speaker lights or anything like that, so it's just two connections for the rear. After you have all of that good, you can plug the door panels onto the rear, and then you're good to go. So pretty much now we're gonna just focus on getting all the doors together. After we have all the doors together, we're gonna put the dash back together. After we have the dash back together, we're just gonna go ahead and finish off the seats, and then just have all the wiring harness tucked away neatly around under the seat. And you can actually fold up the carpet and tuck it in between the carpet too. But whatever it is you can do to make the wiring as neat as possible, you should do, so that no wires will get caught up in the future or just get tangled or anything like that. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and finish off this install. We're pretty much done now. It's pretty much self-explanatory from this.
All right, guys, so the ambient lights have been installed. It looks absolutely incredible. And I really want to give a special shout out to Sahil and his team here at ASM Performance, because they did a killer job. They know exactly what they're doing. They're thorough professionals. They've really done this before. And I just want to say thank you, Sahil, for the great work that you and your team did.
I would say a big thank you to Armand too, the man behind the camera. He's a big part of the team. Armand is like Tesla guru. He loves these things. But another thing is we'd like to give back to Phase's viewers. The first 3 people that come to us, that you guys can DM us, you guys can give us a call, whatever. All that information will be down below. The first 3 people to come by us, they will get 25% off on the labor rate for the install. So come snag that deal.
Sounds good. So be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Give this video a like, and I'll see you next time.